Good evening, Mr. Jenkins. Thank you for taking out the time to come out here this evening and interview. What was Scotlandville called when you were at school?
It was Scotlandville Hornets. Scotlandville Junior Senior High. See, we had a combined situation at Scotlandville, which also gave us an opportunity to know families, children, siblings of other people who was in the family, who was in a particular family. We had an opportunity to learn about them. You know, I'm being in 11th grade and here somebody's little sister or brother comes in at 7th grade. You know, you don't get to know them well, but you get to know that they're part of that family. And I think that had a lot to do with the family ties in the community. But we had started school at the 8th grade over there at Scotlandville, and at 7th grade, I'm sorry, it was in 7th grade. We started off at Scotlandville and then went to the junior senior high school. The first year was 7th and 8th grade. And then each year they added a grade on to it, so you could actually finish from Scotlandville until in 1956 it had its first graduating class.
Okay. All right. So, what is Scotlandville like now compared to how it was back then?
Well, it's completely different. The culture is completely different. You know, the Scotlandville is a mixture of kids from all over the community, which is good. You'll have more opportunities today than what we had. There was a lot of segregation during the time when we came up, but it didn't faze me as much as an individual because I was happy in the mix that I was in. I didn't feel that I was being betrayed without having access to certain things. You know, when we were coming up, if you go to a public place, you had to go to a restaurant that read colored, or you couldn't drink out of that faucet because you had to go to one that says colored. But there was a lot of that going on. I think that in my days as a junior, it's when a lot of the demonstrations started going on, and I participated in a lot of the demonstration that was happening at the time. The boycott, the march downtown from Southern University to downtown Baton Rouge. I was part of the tear gassing of the people when they tear gas us down there. So I played a part in that part of society.
Okay. All right. And tell us about the change of Scotlandville from the new location to the old location. Well, no, from the old location to the new location.
You know, that was my last year. We had an opportunity to go to the new school to have our graduation ceremonies. And we as a class chose not to. You know, that was a new school. They had air conditioning and everything over there, and we didn't have that over at the old school. But because of the fact that that's where we spent our time at Scotlandville Junior Senior High, that's where we wanted to march at, and that's where, and so the difference in it today, I would say, as I indicated, it's a lot to do with the culture situation, where opportunities are much greater for young black children than they were much when I was back in school. You get an opportunity to participate in much more, and you get exposed to more. You have computers. We didn't have those things at that time. You had, you know, as a youngster coming up, I remember that we had a TV in the community, not at every house. You know, we all go to, the kids would all go to one of the houses that had a TV, and that's where we would look at TV and stuff like that. So there's a lot difference. Education-wise, I think that we had some of the smartest students that you can find way back in Scotlandville, the junior senior high days. I recognize the talent that we have today in students that's participating, like the engineer program and stuff that you are participating in. We didn't have certain areas that you can participate in like that, but we also had quite a few activities, extracurricular activities that you could participate in. The choir, the band, the 4-H, the debate team. There's various opportunities to get to be exposed to other things. But as far as the school it was then and the school it is now, I would think that today is much more advanced. I think one of the things that really happened that you know, there was not as many of our students probably missing class as what they said do today. I noticed that when I go over there and spend some time, I just noticed that the tardy list gets long. But it's not like it's over the whole campus. It's the same students, and you have maybe about 100 of them or so like that that's doing that. They're going to be the ones that show up on your list all the time.
Right.
And I think that because of the discipline situation today compared to where it was then makes a big difference.
Now, I should have asked you this one at the beginning, but this will be my last. How did Scotlandville evolve in the beginning?
In the Scotlandville community, you have one high school here, which was Southern Lab. Southern Lab was basically a private school. The need for a school because of the number of students that we had here, the school board, it was just, I think it's 13, we call it the 13 original, which was made up of teachers, Principal Mr. Patty, and most of the teachers I can name, but I don't want to go through that. It's not necessary for this conversation. But from that nurturing of that group, and the next year, I think maybe 20 more came. So the growth of the school was, you could actually see the growth of the school. When I first went there, it had already been started, so I wasn't one of the 8th graders who started school. I was still in elementary school at the time. But the school evolved to be, coming into to its growth was each year a class was added. And like I said, in 1956, it was the first graduating class, and I think it was in 1951 that they started the school. Mm-hmm. And you had 2 other high schools in the community, which was predominantly black schools. That's McKinley and Capitol. So the competition between us has always been very competitive. We've always been very competitive, and Scotlandville has always been known to be winners. And basically whatever you do, not just sports, but in competitive with band and competition with debate and competition with boys, we always was competitive. And that type of rivalry and camaraderie got us to know a lot of them, because most of the time if you participate in something, you're going to have somebody from the other school who probably participate as much as you do as your competitor until they graduate and stuff like that. So we got to know basically the community in that sense.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins, for your time, and I really appreciate this. I learned a lot from you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.